וכי נפשי אס השם
Tractate Bava Batra, page 99. We are 98b, 4 lines from the bottom of the page. The holy Beit HaMikdash, the temple, involved with a lot of miracles. There are a lot of sources that the structure we have and the reality involved with a lot of things that appear as a contradictory, but soon you see the explanation. Some of them, it's kind of a metaphysical idea, how things took place, what space, the tremendous amount of miracles that took place, as the Mishnah in Pirkei Avot and other places tells us. So we are going to speak about measurements in certain locations, the appearance of controversy sorcerers, and when we juxtapose in a text about the size of certain part of the Beit HaMikdash, also the explanations of the interaction between the world above and the world below in conjunction to the certain entities involved in Beit HaMikdash, and then the second phase of our study, which is back to the 3 Mishnayot, dealing with the relationship between man and his fellow in conjunction to trespassing, meaning you have a fellow that needs to trespass to a property of another fellow, when and where and how we allow or not allow, when someone has the right to make his own rules, and when is a controversial property, especially property connected to the public domain, how a person can be total circumscribed, total limited in his capability to interfere with the public's needs. So let's start with 98b, very bottom, 4 lines from the bottom. Rabbi Chanina Knafak Lekiryata was a great rabbi by the name of Rabbi Chanina. He went to those villages, and people, with all the sincerity, ask him a question. They see in the Book of Kings 2 statements that look different. Here we talk about the size of certain part of the temple, Beit HaMikdash. רמו לקראי הדדי, כתיב, הבית אשר בנה המלך שלמה להשם 60 אמה רוקבו ו20 מחבר רובו ו30 אמה קומתו, וכתיב, ולפני הדביר 20 אמה אורך ו20 אמה רוחב ו20 אמה קומתו. So you see here 2 different sources in conjunction to building of Beit HaMikdash. One speak about heights, length, width, 60, 20, 30. The other one, which is inside the partition of the Holy of Holies, they speak about 20, 20, 20, 20 cubits length, 20 cubits height. How come it's in juxtaposition for 2 pesukim, for 2 sentences, looks different inside? אמר לו כי כחשיב משפת הקרובים ולמעלה. So the way that we count is from the borderline, from the edge of the kruvim, cherubs, and upward. So, which is the kruvim themselves stood 10 cubits high by themselves. So, my kamashman, what exactly we derive from that? So they say, page 99, הקמשמלן למעלה, למטה כלמעלה, למעלה אין משמש, מה למעלה משמש כלום, אף למטה אין משמש כלום. So basically they say the same way as the upward is the inward, which means when we talk about kruvim, it was an empty space. Again, the whole idea is that it was a miracle. Soon you see other sources. מסייע לרבי לוי, דאמר רבי לוי, ביתם רבי יוחנן, דבר זה מסורת בידינו, מאבותינו. We have very strong tradition from our ancestors among so many miracles that happened to our people. One of them is מקום ארון וכרובים אינו מן המידה. When you speak about the space for the Ark of Covenants, the kruvim and the measurement, a place of the Ark and the kruvim, it's not measured. It's one of those places that is empty spot, which again miraculously wasn't counted. The same way as when Moshe Rabbeinu made, it was the Holy of Holies and only 20 cubits, and the arch 10 cubits, empty space between them, which is again an expression of great miracle that happened there. So there is a book called Yalkut Eliezer. I have here some copy of that. Thank you. So he explained, we know the statement, El Bracha Metzuyad, the blessing is bestowed upon one, לא בדבר השקול ולא בדבר עמוד ולא בדבר הסמולה, אלא בדבר הסמולה. So the blessing is usually something that you don't have ayin hara, you don't have people that see it, you don't measure, you don't. So it means that anything related to kinyan gashmi, they are limited. That's the way they have measurement, they have limited, they have a certain weight, height, etc. But here, it's not. So the same way we explain about Talmidei Chachamim, about Torah scholars, so those who basically supported the Torah scholar, that they said that it's a receive endless blessings, but the derivative is from the Mekom Aron V'Kuvim Enu Min Amidah, that the tradition we have, that the place of the art of covenant and the Kruvim, it's out of measure. And we have here, Amar Rabna Amar Shmuel, Kruvim Benes Umdim. It says that the Kruvim stand miraculously. The book of Kings, chapter 6, ו-500 כנף הכרוב האחד, ו-500 כנף הכרוב השנית, 10 מקצועות הכנפיו וקצות הכנפיו. גופה הוא היכה אבו קיימה, how exactly they stand. So they said, Benes Umdim. It was the way that they stand, it stood miraculously and did not occupy any physical space. Maybe they are like out in a sense of body of a chicken, which means that you should not say that it's a miracle, it's just the way that it's structured. So we have several rejections to that. The third one, מתקיף לרבחה ביעקב ודימה באכסנולה, באכלסונרי, which means the diagonal. Fourth one, מתקיף לרבונה דרב יהושע ודימה ביתה מלווה בה, which means that the Holy of Holies is expanded upward. מתקיף לרבחה ודימה מחפור דחייפי ידעיו, which means that it wasn't total open. The wings, the sixth one and the last one, so maybe you said that the wings cross over one another so that they did not occupy so much space. So the Gemarrah did not meyasher, the Gemarrah did not reconcile this, left this Amoraim question open. How the Kruvim stand. Rabbi Yochanan Rabbi Elazar אחד אמר פניהם משל אחיו ואחד אמר פניהם לבית. One said that they face to each other, the other one said that the faces were toward the sanctuary. למה דבר פניהם משל אחיו והכתיב ופניהם לבית? לא קשה כאן בזמן שעושים ישראל עושים רצונו של המקום, כאן בזמן שאין ישראל עושים של המקום. You have to differentiate between the time that we follow the instruction of the Almighty, the time that we turn away from Him, and therefore it was reflected in the appearance of the Kruvim to each other. The Ritva brought the Gemarrah in Yoma 54 from Rimigash. He said that the Gemarrah said in Yoma, when those idol worshippers entered to the sanctuary, so they saw the Kruvim one with another. So how come the time of the Churban, time of the destruction, didn't follow the will of God? So he said that this is the Kruvim that Moshe Rabbeinu, Moses made, but over there it's a Kruvim that come out of those walls, that it was always to the other. Not everyone goes but that way, but there's a book called Kerem Tzvi. Kerem Tzvi explained in Parshat Truma that the Torah said V'nikle achicha leinecha. So they said Kevan shelaka reu keachicha. So the Gemara in Sanhedrin 47 explains that natnu et avadecha ma'achal le'of hashamayim, they make you servant like a food for the fly in the air. B'sar chasidecha l'chayto aretz, mai avadecha o mai chasidecha hu adei. So the Gemara in Sanhedrin 46 said, Hanach demechai v'dinam ikara v'kevan diktul karelu avadecha. They deserve to be judged, so therefore they call you servant. So even in the time of Khurban, time of destruction, because they accepted upon themselves the punishment, they have the atones of the iniquities, and therefore the faces was toward each other. That's, as we said, in the book called Kerem Atzvi. ולמד אמר פניהם לבית, and the one who said פניהם לבית, הכתיב ופניהם איש של אחיו. So how come they said פניהם איש של אחיו? So he explained and he said, di metzad dedei, which means that they basically were angles sideways, so that they turned both to each other and toward the sanctuary. Atzadudei. The Tanya Unkelus Ager Amar, Unkelus, the convert, said, קרובים מעשה צעצועים הן ומצודדים פניהם כתלמיד הנפטר מרבו. If you notice in the Kotel, in the Wailing Wall, the Western Wall, people go backward, you go to Big Rebbe, you go that way out of respect. So that's the Gemarrah in Yoma 53. You see it also in the Shulchan Aruch, in your Resh Membet. Anyway, now we go to 3 Mishnayot that speaks about the right of person to pass through another fellow's property. מי שיש לו בור לפנים מביתו של חברו, נכנס בשעה שבני אדם נכנסים ויוצא בדרך שבני אדם יוצאים, which is during the day only we need to pass through his fellow, ואינו מכניס בהמתו משכים מבורו אלא מלא ומשכים בחוץ, וזה עושה לו פותחת וזה עושה לו פותחת. So you make a special lock each time in order to make sure that the other fellow not steal his water. פותחת לאיכם, רבי יוחנן שניהם לבור. רבי יוחנן said that both of them construct a lock on the opening or to the cistern to prevent the other from accessing it unilaterally. Bishlama Balaבור Bailish Tamurema Devrei, the owner of the pit, the cistern wants to save his water, but Ela Balabait Lamali, the homeowner, why he needs to do it? Wanted to put a locker. So they said, Amar Bilazar response, page 99. B. Mishum Chashad Ishtor. Unfortunately, that's the reality that people suspected the reason that he tried to be there. If he's not locking the door, it's they suspected that there's something to do with the wife, so therefore they make that restriction. Now I'm going to the next Mishnah, which is the rights to pass through the garden of his fellow. מי שיש לו גינה לפנים מגינתו של חברו נכנס בדרך שבני אדם נכנסים ויוצא בדרך שבני אדם יוצאים, which is again during the day only. ואינו מכניס לתוך התגרים, he doesn't bring inside the margent, ולא ייכנס מתוכה לתוך שדה אחרת, והחיצון זורע לו את הדרך. The one who's outer, he bring a special path in the middle, so because obviously he doesn't give up all his right to, that he cannot plant it there. נתנו לו דרך מן הצד, if they give him a path outside of the outer garden, מדעת שניהם נכנס בשעה שהוא רוצה ויוצא בשעה שרוצה, מכניס לתוך התגרים, he bring margins, ולא ייכנס מתוכה לשדה אחרת, וזה וזה אינם רשאים לזור. And both of them not have the right to plan in the side path. So now the Gemara dealing with the water bank, what exactly the person is allowed or what's not. So they said, Amar Rav Yuda Amar Shmuel, Ama Beit HaShlachin Ani Mocher Lecha. If you said, I'm selling you the land, a water channel feet for bringing water to an irrigating field, and so required to give land 2 cubits wide for the inside of the channel, and 1 cubit on the side of, and 1 cubit on that side of the banks. בית השלחים למוכר לך נותן לך 2 עמודים בתוכה, ואמה מכאן ואמה מכאן לאגפיה, ואמה של בית הקילון, that's the Rashbam said that that's the place that you have a channel of water to basically clean and use for animals, for garments, for utensils, etc. This is a real Migash in area, different, but that's the... So anyway, אני מוכר, נותן לו אמה אחת בתוכה וחצי אמה מכאן וחצי אמה מכאן לאגפיה. ואותן אגפיים למי זורן, this is the seller of the buyer, so the seller רב יהודה אמר שמואל, בעל השדה זורן, the seller planted it. רב נחמן אמר שמואל, בעל השדה נותן, the one who planted the field, he's the one who does the trees. מאן דאמר זורן מכל שכן נותן, מאן דאמר נותן, אבל זורן לא. חלחולי מחלחלי. So he said it's basically the perforated the ground, which basically weakens the ground and causes the damage to the water channel. So they said, ואמר דוד אמר שמואל, אמת המים כלו אגפיה, אמת המים שכלו אגפיה מתקנה אותה מאותה שדה, וידוע שלא כלו אגפיה אלא באותה שדה. So he fixed it because it's known that was the bank collapse, the only into the surrounding field. Matkiv l'Rav Papa ma'yachash pachul l'Rav can say that you water carried away your earth at the bank, so you have the right to take earth from my field. So he said, when he sold the Amat Hamayim, the bank of water, it was a condition that the owner of the tunnel would take that earth in order to fix that part, the Agapayim. And again, this is Mishnah dealing with the right to pass through or transpass. If someone have a public thoroughfare passing through his field, he take it and give it a different location from the side. So obviously, he does it for selfish reason. But anyway, you have two ways what he gave them, but he will not get it. So derech היחיד 400, דרך הרבים 16 אמר, individual domain is 4 cubits, public domain 16 cubits, דרך המלך אין לה שיעור, obviously is a king, there's no limitations, דרך הקבר אין לה שיעור, burial the same, המעמד, those people who stand around to comfort the dead, and so they said that ציפור אמרו בית 4 קבין, the judges of the city of ציפור said that it's required for sowing 4 cab of seed. So, the Gemarrah said, "Amai shelo lo higio linkot pazra v'leitiv." He should take a stick to whoever wants to pass through his property. So basically, we learn in Tractate Bava Batra, a disputation among the Amoraim, page 27b, if a person can dan din le'atzmi le'nafshi or not, if a person can make a decision individually. For example, if someone is storing an estate from him or properties from him, he can go and take care of the thief, or he needs to go to the court and sue him. So they said, the problem is that the fellow can, this is the rabbinic decree, that the fellow can give them a way that it's basically, he circumnavigates the estate, which means that that basically caused the public to lose page 100, top of the page 100, so that's the third explanation. So he said anytime that you do the alternative path from the side, is always you have people who are unhappy. Some people it's make them way shorter, the other one it's extended the way longer than it used to. So therefore you do not return to him, you don't return to him the way he has it, that he gave.